Well, we're back with the flip for this men's match. Off you go, gentlemen.
Cool. Up.
We'll take defense.
We'll go up there.
Cool. All right, you're going to start on offense now, Tivo.
Defense.
We pick defense.
Oh, offense, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to start on offense?
Yep.
You with me?
Yep.
All right, cool. Glad we're on the same page here. What's going to be the plan?
Score goals. Catch and score goals.
I mean, I should have asked you a better question than that. In terms of the tournament for Mammoth, what is the expectations and what are you aiming to achieve here?
Just consolidate our position in this pool and reach our quarters.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. I'll let you get back to the team. Ryan Davey, captain of the Newcastle I-Beam. Bit of a change of fortunes from last year, Ryan. You're down the bottom of this pool. How can you turn it around from here?
We've got to start by winning this game. It's obviously going to be a bit of a tough ask. They are one of the returning champions. I definitely think we can, though. We just got to try and beat it by as much as we can and just hope that the ties work out in our favour.
Well, you're in an interesting position here. Who do you think is going to be a key for you in this match?
I think Lefty's going to step up really big for us this game. He's been our main target on offence the whole time, and we're really looking at our whole D-line to get things done and really punch in those breaks.
All right, thank you very much for your time. Good luck for the match.
Thanks, mate.
We're going to go to a quick video and then we'll be back with your commentators for this match, Simon Talbot and Beck Walbridge.
What is spirit of the game?
It's knowing the rules and when they apply.
It's avoiding body contact wherever possible.
It's keeping a positive attitude and enjoying the sport.
It's being fair-minded even when the game is on the line.
It's communicating respectfully with your opponent.
And welcome back. We're getting ready for the men's open pool play game we've got this afternoon. Got to I-Beam from Newcastle. Not far from here. We're only half an hour up the road from our home, so probably all getting the home bed advantage.
Absolutely. They'd be loving the commute.
So if we take a look at the I-Beam team, a couple of key players to look on. We heard their captain Ryan Davey talking about number 9, Chris Stoddart. He'll be an absolute weapon this game. This is the kind of games where the must-win games where he really steps up and gets involved. Also keep an eye on number 56, Chris Hill. Big thrower. Also become an accomplished disc golfer in recent times. And we'll also keep an eye on number 14, Nathan Pearsall, one of the younger tall receivers. He was on the end of quite a few goals at the Eastern Region Championship, so let's hope he can replicate that this time around. So
Absolutely.
And their opponents, Mammoth, playing out of Brisbane.
So Mammoth looking a little bit of a younger side comparatively to I-Beam and have a bit of a bigger roster as well. So they'll have some fresher legs. So people to keep a bit of an eye out for. We've got Callan Spielman. He's, one of their cool heads. He's one of those players who you can kind of chuck him in any position and he will just absolutely rip it up. Very, very smart player. Another person to keep an eye on is Liam Grimwood. He's played representative, Australian representative a couple of times. So he's one of those quiet players. You kind of look at him and you're like, oh yeah, I got him. And then he'll just sneak out in front of you and you've got no chance. And then, of course, Thomas Vo, who we heard from before, just such a speedy player. Now, it's been interesting to watch him coming up through the ranks over the last few seasons, and he's now really in a prominent position on this team, really taking charge. So, I mean, look, you look at that roster, there's so many names that I could pull out of some really top athletes there. So, great game to watch. It's going to be interesting to see some youth versus some vintage, older, smart heads and see who comes out on top.
Well, I-Beam have definitely got a couple of younger players on their roster this year. The old cliche for I-Beam is they've got the same roster and the same small roster, but this time they've expanded a bit, got plenty of younger guys out of the Newcastle University Club, as we saw in that video before, getting them in, getting some experience. But the big story of this game, so Mammoth the 2019 champions. They won that up in Townsville 3 years
Absolutely.
ago. But have not
Knocked
been
out the
around to
team I was-
defend it.
Yeah, that's true. And they knocked out the team that I was coaching that year. Great, love that.
And then, so 2020 Nationals didn't happen.
Correct.
Thanks to the pandemic. They weren't able to attend 2021 because of border closures.
Yep.
And so they've got a rightful claim to say they're still
Absolutely.
champions. They haven't been,
They haven't had a chance to prove themselves back to back yet. Absolutely.
but of course, they're doing it tough. As we heard earlier, these pool play results have not been clean and tidy. There's no clear contenders out of this pool as to who's going to make it through. So the 2 games we've got this afternoon, crucial to determine who's going to be going through to the knockout brackets.
I kind of
starting
love that
tomorrow.
though. I don't like it when Nationals gets to a point where you you've played 3 games and everyone's like, oh well, that's now in that pool, that's in that pool. I like that there's still that element of you've got to fight for it, and that just shows the quality of the Ultimate here in Australia, in that they are so evenly matched, and it comes down to who is better on the day. And who can actually get the toe over the line. And once they've had a couple of games under their belt, they've played in the rain, they've played in the cold, they've played in the sunshine here. So it actually, we get to see who the better team is on the day.
Yeah. Of course, I've been one of the longest standing clubs here. They've attended every national championship since 2007.
That's an effort.
Of course, we're the winners in 2010. Hoping to replicate that glory sometime down the track. But they only just scraped in. They had to finish. They lost the quarter-final of the Eastern Region Championships to an undermanned Crank out of Wollongong, which meant that they had to go through win the 5th to 8th bracket.
Yeah, right.
And they were down by a couple of points in the game to go against Status Quo out of Sydney, who ended up going to Division 2. And they were hard up against it. It's like, could we see them miss out for the first time in 14 years? But one thing you can never write IBM off.
Oh, no, never.
They can be down by 5 goals with 20 minutes to
Absolutely.
play, and you cannot write them off because they've been down in those games before. That there's enough players on that team who have been through that. They can mentally steel themselves to go, right, we'll get through this. We'll be fine. We're going to throw down to Newcastle native Daniel Clinton, who's going to do his best to hide his bias for this game, but we'll see what he has to say.
Look, no promises here, Simon. I am a Newcastle native. Just a late update. Chris Hill of IBeam is a late exclusion. He has to go to a wedding. He won't be here for this game. That's a massive out for them.
Well, that's a huge
that's-
out. Oh.
And he's just one of those workhorse players, and he'll be sprinting just as hard on the last day as he does on day one. He's just got that stamina and that go the whole time. So that's a bit of a blow. But to be honest, at Nationals, if you're going to have a day out, this is an all right day to have out. Obviously, you want the win regardless.
Yeah.
But, so I think we've got a Spirit captains here just having a bit of a chat.
It's a deep enough roster that it's a big out, but like Hill's throws are a bonus for the team.
Yeah,
it's not like they're
it
going to
adds
be missing.
to it.
It's not they're going to be missing throwing power. It's just one less.
Yeah, very true, very true. So we see the Spirit captains there just having a bit of a chat. So Spirit being a really important part of the game as it is a self-umpired sport. So as well as having your captains of strategy, you also have your Spirit captains. So they're the ones to make sure that teams are sticking to the rules and upholding the integrity of the game.
They just check in with each other every now and then just to go, right, are you okay with how things are going, how we are? And they often have a chat before the game just to, I guess, set the boundaries. Like some teams, especially you find it yourself, some teams don't mind physical play. Some teams are dead against it. And
absolutely.
And that's fine. And so I'll have that chat early on to go, like, what are we finding acceptable? Where's our level? Let's aim for that. So we hear the siren to get the game underway. Rob Merck with the first ball for IBeam. They'll start on defense. Mammoth in the blue. Leask getting close attention on the mark there from Hayes. Taking a long time. Gets it back to Grimmond. Hitting the deck early. Perry. Spielman. Big long throw going up. Grimmond's underneath. He's got body position. 2 bids go up from Newcastle players, but not enough.
Interesting there, Newcastle. So we haven't really seen much of this on the stream as of yet, but they not playing, so playing match defense, but very happy to swap the players that they're marking up against. So instead of following your player the whole way, if there's your defensive player is in a better position to take that player and catch them up, they're very happy to do that switch. So it'll be interesting to see if that pulls off any blocks along the way.
And big throws are going to be a hallmark of this game.
Absolutely. So it looks like we've got another person out there helping to coach with I-beam. I can't figure out who that is from there. But a couple of helpers. I know that we've got Ashley O'Sullivan that's helping out to coach the I-beam team this tournament.
Callum Haworth with the pull. John Greenfield makes the early call.
And so that is a brick. So what that means is that the pull has gone out of the field. And so what will happen is that they can take it. Oh, and he runs it up to that X in the middle of the field.
Davey to Lavis. Stoddard. Prosso, this is nice quick movement from I-beam. Butcher across to Davey, fires the bullet into Folks. Folks into Stoddard. He's got a couple on that high side.
Just puts it out a little bit too far in front of him. And
Doherty not quite able to get to that one. Nice little high break throw there. Running a fairly typical vertical stack, so all the kind of centrally in the field, sort of opening up two throwing lanes up and down the field. And Haworth, he would have had a high store count there, just had to put that up the line. And so I-beam fortunate enough to get the disc back, so they're set up well off screen there. They're set up pretty deep. Davey. Stoddard gets the grab ahead of Mello. Davey gets a reset. He's got Folks long. Lavis to Folks. Very comfortable with lateral movement, then those 45-degree angled throws. I-beam as they finally find Liam Doherty for his first goal.
And I-beam just looking very comfortable there to hold on to the disc that little bit extra longer until there's something that is presented to them, rather than just going and forcing something in. That's I think, that's typical I-beam game, just those cool heads, just, play it nice and calm and get it into a position where they want so that they're in control of their offensive point.
And they sort of go a bit of almost a double movement here. So you'll see the lateral movement and then they'll fire in 45-degree pass back towards the field. So it's sort of a 1-2-3 kind of action. So keep your eyes out for that, where they go backwards to center field, outwards to the other side, and then backwards into the middle. So a sort of 3-pass attack to gain the middle rather than just trying to go one shot into where all the defenders are.
Yeah, right. Smart. It's almost like they've played Ultimate before.
So they're on defense now. So both teams just 1-1. Ash O'Sullivan I don't know what on earth he's doing, but.
So I know he was saying that he's coaching this season. He's been coaching for a little while now.
Yeah.
Taking on a coaching role.
Of course, as a player at Division 2, gold medalist.
Yeah, that is correct.
So still got it. Grimmin, Leask. Running with a zone defense, so forcing Mammoth to throw a lot of passes, take away that long game. Though, at least not much action happening down this side of the field. Throws a big fake to get them moving, but no one really buys it. Though, working to both sides of the field. They don't just sort of stay static as throwers. They're happy to dish it and move it around. On this near sideline,
Mammoth really controlling the pace here, just knowing when to strike and when to just hold back a bit.
Yeah. Anderson sends the big long bladey throw up looking for Perry. Perry tries to jump it in, not quite enough. So right on the goal line there, out Got numbers ahead of the disc here, but IBM recover well. They switch to a match defense now. A few one-on-one battles, and they've missed Callum Howarth out the back there. Sorry, Callum Spielman out the back there, who was hiding in that wing deep the entire point. I didn't realise he was on.
Yeah. I said he was one to watch. He's one of those players. He can play anywhere, but he's not a loud player.
Yeah.
So he's not your in-your-face, kind of very extroverty, letting you know that I'm here. He's one of those players who will sneak past you and you don't even realise it, as shown right there in that point.
Good shot there by Leask as well. Kept it low and flat just so that there's not enough time for the defence to react to it.
And Grimmin and Vo, they're working it up, that little give-go through the middle just to get that fast movement to just get the defence offside, and then knowing when to stop and calm down and reset again. That was some smart, controlled play there by Mammoth.
The trap you can fall into, excuse me, is that long shot stays in the air longer, so defense have time to catch up. So you want to get to at least halfway before you shoot. So yeah, those end zone shots don't hang in the air for as long.
Absolutely. Nice pull here.
Plenty of float on it. It's going to stay
just out. So this is what I was describing before when they ran it in last minute, is that when it does go out on the full, you can either choose to have it on the sideline or you can take it up to this brick mark, we call it, where it's in the middle of the field to start the disc.
Davey got options both sides, finds Doherty. Doherty's got started long, but heads backwards instead. Not much coming towards Davey at the moment. We see Tim Lavis there entering that space. Interesting, they got Doherty playing behind the disc. Not the greatest of throws, and Alex Osborne able to swat that one down low. Doherty was a gun receiver for them last year, so obviously has developed his game a bit now to be able to play behind the disc and get some of their more experienced players playing downfield. Speaking of, Jeff Grundy floats that one out. Lavis goes nice and early, pops it away. Good cut by Ben Cuthbert O'Meara, sorry.
Absolutely.
Great throw by Grundy as well. He just loves to get that big, long forehand out. The one-pass offense.
It looks like we've got an injury sub. Someone seems to have maybe been whacked in the face, which is not great. So when there's injury, everyone's play stops where it is, and then the Mammoth get to sub someone on. And if IBeam want to, they can change one player, but it looks like they're opting not to do that right now.
Dan Gladish, the player for Mammoth, is coming off. There's a bit of blood coming from the lip there, so he's just going to clean that up. Because it's a mandatory injury sub if you're bleeding. So Lavis. Doherty under pressure. He had a 2-on-1 there, which meant there was a free player somewhere momentarily, but couldn't seek him out. Prosser. Folks. Plenty of heading away from him. There's Stoddard. You'll see a lot from that. We'll talk about that in a moment. Chris Lavis. Tim Lavis. There's a tumble there in the stack. I think it's Chris Folks that's hit the deck. Taking a while to get up. I think, the clash of knees, it looks like they're...
I mean, it's two lanky boys.
Kevin Milo there also sort of shaking it off a bit. So plays to stop. No real fouls. Just I think there was technically speaking, yes, foul, yes, stoppage, but nothing really in it. Just a chance for them both to recover and check they're okay. Stoddard to Lavis. Lavis looking to this near side. Stoddard being face marked, so it gets a little go fetch throw. Folks. Davey. Prosser.
Oh, great play. Brilliant play. You'll notice that Stoddard, when he was in that position, so his teammate was on the sideline, had the disc. Instead of moving and creating chaos for the thrower, he just stood still until his player wanted him. And then knowing that his marker was looking directly at him, had no idea where the disc was, able to just have it popped up in nice into space next to him.
So we said that block again from Lavis. A perfect read. Slowed down a bit so he wasn't careering into the back of Cuthbert O'Meara. Great grab by Prosser. Could have been easily out of reach.
Absolutely.
But what Stoddard was doing earlier in the point when Prosser had it on the sideline here is all the cutters went, like 3 cutters went deep at once. All the defenders went,
Yeah.
stretched out deep, and then Stoddard took 2 steps to go with him, but then turned and came back under because his defender had sort of flashed off him to help out deep, left him wide open in the middle, and he just was able to jog in for the easy.
Get that reset in the middle of the field. Absolutely.
Because if Stoddard's going to charge towards the end zone, you are going to follow.
Yeah, yeah, oh, definitely, every time. But for him to have that foresight to go, hang on, I'm one of those players. If I go, they're going.
If everyone else is going, it's going to be a bit of a party down there, so I'm just going to
chill out on my own.
Hang out back here. Rob Merck. Big floaty pool, plenty of hang time. Grimmond, Leask. Mariung. There's one look upfield. Back to Leask. Cut's coming laterally in an angle. Not much coming towards him. Finds Grimmond. Plenty of turf being kicked up here after the heavy rain. Spielman puts a long throw up, looking for Max Mariung.
Oh.
And he's put that down. That's brutal.
He knows that. He's not happy with that.
Yeah, I think he might have sort of just been anticipating. I think Bakalis there was the defender, might get a bit of a tip on it, change where it went, and I'm not sure if he expected it to come straight through. So, Mammoth. I-beam with an opportunity here. Merck to start play. Classic vertical stack. You'll see cuts coming from the left of screen towards the thrower. You see Tim Hayes come in there, but they've gone upfield to...
Oh, there we go.
Jewell.
Max had his opportunity.
Jake Winchester there with his grab. Looks straight back to the thrower, Christian Gator. Okay, plenty of time. Bakalis. You see the reset play there, Gator wasn't set up behind him. It was actually set in front, and...
Timeout called. Simon, how do you feel about that?
Not great. It's early. Why?
If you have been watching the streams, you know that Simon and I are not fans of a midpoint timeout. Generally speaking, this does not pay off.
So
sometimes it does.
I think it was Thomas Vo got a huge piece of that D, but kicked it up there for Spielman to just reel it in. Terrific throw there by Nick Jewell, one of the Americans lining up for the Newcastle team. Handy addition to their roster.
Now, my thoughts would be that I-beam have called this because they've got some sort of set play because they are close to the end zone.
Yep.
And they're going to want to obviously execute that set play. However, I always feel in this situation the advantage is in the defensive hands because all they need to do is not allow that initial set play to occur.
Yeah, they are sort of close to that higher side, so I think there'll be a bit of a decoy play. I think they'll try and set up like a 1v1 battle up that top corner, but the real move is going to be to get it down to this side.
Yep. Get it across
even go backwards and across and then hit this bottom left corner.
Absolutely. So here you go. You can see, just like you've said, they've got an isolated player out on the far side, at the top of the screen there. And they're setting up some other players. It looks like they've got almost 2 isolated players by the looks of it. So how it works, offense go and set up, they're not allowed to move, and then defense goes into play.
Look, if you can hit Jewell, he will, but I think the real player is going to be here to come backwards to Merck and across to Hayes. Yeah. I mean,
so
doing it in one pass, probably not. Probably should have been 2 passes.
Absolutely. And that timeout didn't come off for him.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Never works. But yeah, there's a pretty of a stiff breeze from top to bottom of the screen, so that it gave a bit more juice to that throw.
And that's only just kind of started to come on now.
Yeah.
Bit incremental, the wind at the moment.
So Alex Leask taking his time just to dry off the disc, but you can't take too long. He's got to keep. Once you've picked it up, you have to be walking towards reset. You can't really delay the game. Anderson getting up. Wants to get to the high side, sends the big bomb up. Spielman's gone long, as has Perry. It's 2-on-3, but Spielman's got to come down with it. And then pops it up.
Ooh.
Nicely to Perry, and that was...
Maybe wanted a little bit more spin on that.
Tim Hayes, the ground he covered to be part of that contest. He started all the way back, almost 20 from his own goal, put in close to a 50-metre sprint before making that bid. That's just...
Yeah, great
that
work,
is an effort.
right?
You can see him just to the right of screen there, bang. He sees the throw goes up and takes off just to get involved in that contest. But you got Perry, who's about 6'5", Spielman, who's about 6'3". If you see those two going deep together, you figure you can just put it between them, let them have a chat, work out who wants to do what.
Both of them very good at receiving the disc. So both of them have played in a receiver position for a little while now.
And Perry had his eyes on the disc, but you see him look down briefly because Callan would have just said, he just would have been a quick mine.
Yep.
And Perry would have been, well, it's Callan then, it'll be right. And so he just kept going after that. He didn't get involved, didn't draw an extra defender into the contest.
Absolutely.
Right, I'll keep going. Easy goal. So good. Excellent communication, excellent awareness from both players, but particularly Spielman.
Yeah. And that communication is so key in a moment like that. And so many teams, after playing a couple of games, they lose that element of their game.
Yeah.
So great work to keep that up.
Grundy's send that pull floating. He's gone for hang time more so than distance, but he has landed it.
Out of the field.
On the line. On the line, of course, being out of bounds.
Some players calling it as in.
Grundy
yeah, and he's gone, no, I'm wrong.
He was contending the edge landed first, but his teammates have shouted from the sideline, like, Jeff, mate, no. Lavis. Stoddard. Grundy right in his tail. Chris Lavis. Travel called on the throw. Okay, so Stoddard had set his pivot outside of the field before he threw. So when you catch, you're allowed to take a couple of steps to slow down, but if that carries you out of bounds, you've got to come back to the sideline.
Yep, and you've got to make sure that that pivot foot is inside.
Yes. Tim Lavis up the line. He's got Doherty with the 2-on-1, which means he's got a loose player on that high side. But says, don't worry about it. We're just going to this side anyway.
Bit of an easy score there for IB.
Relatively easy, but it's sort of high-risk, high-reward defence by Mammoth. They're trying to crowd that close sideline by having defenders peel off their players. And you need that responsiveness from the players on offence to go the other way, to go, right, I'm covered here, I need to get out.
Yeah, and
draw my
someone
defender
else
back
needs
out with
to
me.
pop in and do the work.
And you saw the space open up. I'm not sure who's in the grey hat there, but they were trying to double back to their player. But then also saw at the last second, I think 68 there, that's Marcus Leask. But I think Davey had the foresight to realise that, the wave had come in and it was going to head back out, and
opportunities would open up.
If he started that run from 15 metres back, by the time he got there, it's open. So good read of the play from Ryan Davey there, and also Tim Lavis. Just probably would have had a bit of voice behind him going, I'm on my way, just
wait.
Yeah, give it 2 more seconds and pop it up for me. McKee with the pull. Grimmond to Leask. Anderson also there behind the disc. They've got their sort of set offensive unit here, Mammoth. The same 7 players out there. Perry finding space closer to the disc now. There's one look upfield. Nelly a hand in there to stop that. Perry has got Grimmond. Grimmond sends it up the line. Smooth, crisp offense from Mammoth. And that's the kind of offense I think they've been trying to sort of work their way into. But Max Mariung with the goal there.
I get it. Moving Grimmond from behind the disc to in the cutting position really opens up a little bit more space for Mammoth, and it allows to have that quick movement, that quick cutter, because it's very hard to mark Liam effectively and stop everything he wants to do. So it's more that as a defender, what's the least risky thing?
What's the least damage?
What can I do so it causes the least amount of damage on this field?
Yeah.
And so by having him in a position where he can kind of move a bit more and have a little bit more freedom rather than being restricted to being behind the disc, he's going to be a little bit more useful for Mammoth.
4-3 the score.
Have we had a team? We haven't had a team break yet.
No.
So
Always
just been trading.
All goals up that right-hand side. Of course, the best chance we had I-beam with that timeout call. Early heading to the left, so still no team with the advantage at the moment, even though Mammoth do have a 1-goal lead. I-beam are now on offense. Folks fields the pull. Davey. Got a zone look. They'll transition to match soon. I think it's just to shut down that initial long throw play, but I-beam just too... They've recognised it too easily and just able to adjust themselves seamlessly. So they've started from their usual vertical set, they went to a horizontal, and they'll drift back to a vertical set probably after this throw. So Folks has a look upfield, back to Davey. He's got Greenfield on the high side. Got one more continuation, but has one look back in field again. We see that sort of 1-2 pass to the high side before they attack the middle. Stoddard up the line now. Doherty with his second goal.
Interesting I-beam there when the pool came down. They set up their stack quite deep.
Yep.
They're quite comfortable having a big bit of space between the handlers, the people with the disc and the cutters that are upfield, just to allow more movement and freedom. They like having space to play with.
Yeah, and you see that they transition their offensive pattern. There's no call. No one says to do it. It's just well drilled enough and well regimented that you just do it.
Yeah.
It just, this position here means, okay, I must be here.
Yeah.
You see a lot of teams, they'll try and call it from the sideline, or they'll have a particular trigger point when it gets to here. I mean, just do it.
Yeah, they don't
we know enough.
Information. Yeah.
It's good field awareness, good chemistry. Just
Absolutely. Now, Greenfield. We were talking about Karen Baker on the field before. Greenfield maybe has a few more years on him.
I think he's played more national championships than I've had hot dinners. He's
and he just doesn't stop. He doesn't show any signs of stopping anytime soon.
Over 20 years.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
Since the 1990s, he's been a feature at this national championships with Newcastle teams.
And such a genuinely good bloke.
Every year you see him, you think, is this it?
Yeah.
And he just does something that makes you think, no, it's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grimond, Leask. Bit of a different setup from here with lateral cuts across the field. Spielman getting towards the disc now. We can see Grimond just through the centre there pushing upfield. Anderson up the line to Leask. Looks at Vo, decides that's not a clean throw. This time gets it to Murray Young for his second goal.
He seems happy to be just collecting up those stats, doesn't he?
Just seemed to be kind of effortless. I just wonder if they had any kind of pressure around the disc there. I mean, whether that was the intention or not.
Yeah, it seemed a bit lackluster from I-beam or defensively that point.
Yeah, just listening to Tim Lavis and Tim Hayes have a chat on the near sideline. Just Tim Hayes sort of seemed frustrated that the defensive plan wasn't being stuck to. So
maybe that explains it.
Yeah, maybe they just sort of weren't clear on what the actual strategy was. So yeah, that could have been why, or it could have just been the hard running from Mammoth was
absolutely
just unbeatable.
Taking opportunities when given.
But again, it's 5-4. Again, still neither team with an advantage at the moment. 25 minutes deep, 9 goals scored. So going at a fair old pace here, less than 3 minutes a point. Has all the makings of a shootout, this one.
It does. It does. Like, I mean, look, it keeps it exciting, but a break makes it even more exciting, doesn't it, Simon?
Yes. But neither team, like, playing at obviously at a very high gear to begin with.
Absolutely.
For this championships, like, put these teams against a Division 2 team, it's already 10-0, but it feels like neither team's really out of first gear at the moment.
Yeah.
They're sort of sticking with what they're comfortable with, without really need to exert themselves too much on offense yet. Davey. Tim Lavis, he's got Stoddart going long, puts the shot up. And that's just
amazing.
Brilliant throw, and Stoddart just had so much ground there that his defender just thought, I'll just get ready for the next pass. I can't worry about this one. Folks, unguarded. Not a good idea. keeps it backwards to Lavis, who slips momentarily. He's got plenty on that high side to look at. Prosser gives him the option. And there we go. Puts it back towards the middle. Not continues up the line, folks. That long left hand. He's kicked it up.
So I don't want to. I was thinking in my head, like, we haven't seen many unforced errors in this game.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty clean game.
Alex Osborne.
As soon as I thought it.
Alex Osborne with his second block for the game. And there we go, pushing down the sideline now. Kevin Milo brings it back to where he crossed the line. Looks inboard. No, everyone's had a look. No one's gone for it. So
People were a bit confused then with what was going on.
Cuthbert Amara looked back, Gaunt looked forward and bounced off someone's shoulder, and IBM get it back. Davey back to Chris Lavis. Nice little cheeky shot. Folks putting a space under. He's got O'Doherty pointing at the end zone going, put it up, son. Folks, not the risky thrower type. He's more just the type just to keep the chains moving.
Absolutely. Very
Davis
calculated
puts the shot up now. Prosser's gone, looks over his right shoulder, reels it in. He's put it out wide looking for Tim Lavis, who just bided his time waiting on this near sideline that entire point, and then as soon as that long shot went up to Prosser, just took off.
Well, that disc went up and Mammoth almost stopped and just looked and were like, oh, did the disc go up? The defenders just stood pretty stationary and allowed it to happen. I think they thought it was going to be in.
Well, they were spending a lot of time switching defensive assignments, so trying not to just blindly follow their players around, so take switches they can the unders, but then Prosser took off. I think they anticipated him coming back under. They didn't realise that Chris Lavis is almost as good a thrower as his brother.
Yes.
I just don't think they thought that would happen.
Yeah.
And, of course, you give Chris Lavis room for that forehand, Prosser room for the cut.
There it is.
That's what you end up with.
So we are back again. So even, 5-5.
5-5 again. All the scoring happening to the right of the screen.
A couple of opportunities for both teams to score on that point.
Yep. Sullivan there. A lot of instruction to give, but having a chat with us before the game, he was questioning himself just how much he actually gets listened to by the team. So maybe he should be in the commentary booth with us where he knows people are listening. Leask.
Zone happening here from I-Beam.
DeVoe back to Leask. Actually, he's really been the main sort of driver of this defense, but Ruben finds a little gut through DeVoe. He's got Anderson here on this near side if he wants to get it out of that tangle of the zone, but pops it up sideline to Vo. Murray Young helps Vo gain a few more metres. Again, I've been just really not letting them come off that high sideline. Least hangs onto it. Allows their zone to set again. Anderson getting involved now. Really just pushing it down that sideline the whole way. Corridor ultimate. Playing with about 5 metres of width.
I-Beam did well there, so Mammoth was sending people into that zone, or what we call a cup, so into that space where the other players are. And generally, you will do that to try and bring the defenders together to create a gap, a hole in that wall.
Yeah.
I-Beam did so well there to not allow that to happen, to, you know, they were happy for those little 30-centimetre passes to happen in front of them.
Yeah.
But they weren't, those defenders in that fence were just so good at staying in their position, holding their position to not allow those big gaps through the middle.
And the reason it feels like they just kind of let them take that sideline look, because what was happening is when you break through that initial group of 4 players, it creates a 2-on-1 out the back where there's the next line defender has to pick either the central player or the sideline player. And you always cover the central because that's the riskier throw.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you kind of have to commit to one, leave the other. So you always leave the sideline player because, you know, that's where you want to pin them. And so that's why it seems like Mammoth were just able to walk it easy because they just played that smart. Always had those 2 players going, right, one central, one sideline, make the pick one of us, take the sideline. You counteract that by having your deepest player play closer to that sideline so it doesn't become it's 2v2, not 1v2. Davey finds Stoddard unguarded. Again, not a good idea. Tim Lavis They're dropping a player loose, Mammoth, and not worrying too much about guarding the throwers so much as preventing that long shot. So Davey, he's got the disc now. They've locked on now. O'Doherty. One more upfield, not bothering moving to pivot foot. Davey puts it out wide. Tim Laver starting to really get some work in now. Puts a little signal to tell his cutters where to be for the next one. Greenfield, centre field, 15 from goal. Davey, Stoddard. And Doherty, same spot. Third goal now.
I want to see him pull it up. Oh, look at that. Celebration on their home soil.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Now, I'm waiting to see someone pick it up a notch. Like it's kind of what one of the teams needs to do. Have one of their generally it comes from one of the leaders of the team.
To make a big play.
Just to make a big play, just to take half.
Yeah.
Just to have that advantage, that step up over half. Like they've been, you don't want to say cruising because both teams are playing some really great ultimate right now. And definitely the work rate is there.
Yeah.
But you want to see someone just step it up just to get your team to half so that you're on a high there. If they keep trading to half, it's, I just think that one of these teams could take control still from here and win this game.
Yeah. So 6-all. Again, neither team with a real advantage at the moment. All the scoring's been done down that right-hand side. Rob Merck is going to pin them in good field position because that will land inbounds. But Grimman catches it early to move it to Leask. Again, they've just got that wall of 3 defenders at the front, and I think, they've put one more on that high sideline. It means leave this low sideline open, but the wall at the front's doing a good job of keeping it out. Least decides to challenge and put it up high. Merck's going to get to that one.
Ooh.
That's a huge collision.
They're both
not good.
That was a knee straight into a stomach, so
yeah.
This will just take a moment.
We're expecting a foul call out of this. We'll just have to wait and see what it is. But the priority now is that both players are okay. Yeah, both players just eyes for the disc and just...
Oh, so sideways on the knee there, and then he's landed on it. So
cop their ribs at each other. So
this might be a little while. I know that Cal has had injuries before.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's on this knee or not.
Yeah, we can see Aiden Turner, the game advisor there, waving over to our first aid tent.
Let's get some people over.
So this is what we call an injury timeout. So it's not a timeout charge to either team. It means they are just going to take a breather, make sure they're both okay.
There's, absolutely no time pressure on this or anything like that. It's about, both players making sure that they're all right.
Yeah. So that throw again. So Merck was up, and then I just don't think he realised that Spielman had turned to come back to meet the disc.
Absolutely.
Spielman, Merck was probably in his blind spot. Pure accident.
And it, unfortunately, these types of things do happen.
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate that takes a couple of players out of the game.
Yeah.
It's the risk of playing sport, isn't it?
That said, intention doesn't come into it when there's a foul. So, so Hayes is the player who's come on in place of Merck, and just repeats the call. Spielman would have called the foul because absolutely contact, but it tends to sort of favour offence.
Absolutely.
Whoever's subbed on for Spielman will have possession here.
Yeah, so what obviously happens when there's an injury timeout is that in this situation where we've got players that are injured to the point where maybe they still get to make a call, even though they've gone off the field. So he would have made a call here.
So Jeff Grundy is the player subbed on for Spielman, so he'll have possession. In place of Spielman, all other players stay where they were when the injury was called. And player will restart with tap on the ground. It was a tap from Lavis even. And there we go.
There's the score for...
Probably the shortest point of Grundy's career, where he just needs to put it in the lap of Max Murray-Ung for his third goal. I've seen a lot of goals caught in that top corner there, Beck.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the wind is coming across field, so it's coming towards us at the bottom of the screen. So I get why players are favouring. They want to throw up to the top of the screen, the far side of the field, just because the disc is going to carry slightly towards us.
Yeah.
It makes sense to want to throw that way because you don't want to get stuck on this sideline.
Yeah, because throwing into the wind, the disc will sit up a little bit, like it'll hover, kind of, so enough for a receiver to run onto. But as we saw coming at that timeout earlier, shots coming to the camera side, just go.
Yeah.
Just absolute bullets.
Hard and fast, yeah, absolutely.
Pushed down by the wind, so
it looks like Callan is not seeing the doctor anymore. He's just sitting down over there. So those who maybe are listening at home, a bit worried about him, we'll get a bit more of a report of what's going on. But he hasn't been taken off anywhere, which is good news.
The physio came over just to have a look, just I think to double check nothing major had happened, and I think he was satisfied to say, look, you've just copped a hard hit.
Yep. Rest it up so you can play the rest of the tourney.
Walk it off, you'll be fine. Davey. Cuts heading away from Doherty. Grundy with a huge bid. Davies they've got this split stack we'll talk about if we get a chance. I'll explain what's happening here, but it's a bit of a different look. It'll be the cuts heading away down the sideline and then towards it is through the middle. Stoddard. Got Prosser heading deep, spots him up. Prosser's going to have to work.
Chance here.
Yeah, and again, he's floated that throw to that high sideline, but put it up too much that the wind's carried it away from Prosser. So
Prosser's work rate in this game has been phenomenal. He's just being the one who's been sent long every time.
We don't quite have the budget for a GPS tracker in each player, but
he'd be high up there.
He'd be pinging up some figures. So Grundy barking instructions as he walks up. Pointing at players need to go. They'll want to take a long shot probably. Marcus Leask.
Oh, call here.
Kevin Milo.
So plays downfield, still cutting, but there was a call back when Grundy went to throw that disc.
I think it was with Leask and I believe it was a travel.
Right.
So it's back with Leask, who throws it anyway to Milo. High one for Cuthbert O'Meara. A lot of cuts coming laterally. He's put that low and Grundy had to work for it. Right idea. Not the cleanest of execution. Wanted to keep it low so it's not affected by the wind, but you've got to keep it above the ground.
Yeah. Lost opportunity for Mammoth there.
Yeah. Davey looking upfield because Stoddard was heading towards the end zone. Puts it out wide to Tim Lavis. Out wide to Doherty. He's got Prosser, looks him off. Stoddard just camped there in the middle. You can just see him just biding his time. There you go, just deliberate movement just to get open. Davey wants that corner. Throws it into Lavis. Catches. Looks over to where the line is.
Got it.
Tucks his foot down. And that's the veteran awareness. So Tim Lavis, a multi-time Australian men's representative. Just showing that experience and, still getting it done.
Absolutely. Now, we've got a bit of an update from Dan as to what was happening on the sideline. So, Dan, can you let us know what happened over there?
Just an injury update for you. Rob Merck up and about. He's okay. He'll rejoin the game shortly. Cal Spielman, on the other hand, highly doubtful he'll return. It's his left knee that seems to be the problem there.
Ooh, okay.
There we go. So, a bit more of a serious one than we thought.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Yeah. But he's had troubles with that knee in the past, Spielman, so it feels more precautionary.
Yeah.
Anything. He sort of seems in pretty good spirits there resting, but I think it's more just like a hit like that's going to make it feel a little bit unstable. So I feel like he'll get it taped up, give it a test, give it a bit of a run around, see how it goes before he makes that call and get going.
He's been playing long enough that he knows what his body can and cannot handle,
exactly.
And knows when to push and when not to push. So he's, you want players like that on your team, not one who's going to push through and completely destroy themselves so they're not allowed to play.
Yeah. So 7-all, Galaxy point.
Yeah.
I'm not playing for the Universe, just the Galaxy. The next goal takes the half break. So
half is at 8?
Yes, first team to 8 goals. So we took over 41 minutes, and I think it was IBeam that called that time out. And I just wonder if, yes it is, they've pulled Davey and Stoddard over to defence. So this is the one they're going for.
Which, as we, were saying before, would throw a bit of a strong statement out there.
Yes, it would. So
see if it pays off.
yeah, they'll sit Stoddard out sort of deepish because he's exceptional aerial player. So I wonder if they'll just run with him, keep zone or run with him match again. Let's see what they do. We hear the whistle go, which signals offense have 15 seconds to be ready, but both teams indicate readiness and the pool will go up. And you can hear the energy on both sidelines raising. This is a crucial point to win for either team. Grimmond, Leask. They've run that match. Perry gets up high. Leask. Lots of cuts heading in all different directions. Finds Cook to Perry. On that high sideline now. Perry having a good long look upfield. There has been a pick called, I think, in the stack there. Foul called, actually.
So Mammoth early on there, they'd set themselves in a horizontal stack, but then as soon as that disc started moving, they fell into a vertical stack. Keep the defense on their toes.
Yeah. Watch Grimmond here get busy. Number 33 in the green hat there, just to the right. Anderson can't continue to this low side. Good coverage defensively. Grimmond. He's got a couple of cutters going long, but the stack's very deep. They're just going to run little give-goes, get things going, and...
Travel called there. Oh no, pick called.
Pick called. Yeah, just because... I think Jewel had to make the call there. He had to pull up to avoid a collision. And of course, you don't want to be disadvantaged. But the throw goes up anyway to Leask. Huge bid there by Hayes. Put pressure on the throw at Grimmond. They take the advantage to hit this low side now. Vo on the doorstep now. Grimmond gets that out.
Oh.
Anderson. And there we go. I think there's that little increase in energy we spoke about. There was just that throws that little bit more direct. The cut's a little more hard. And Mammoth take half 8-7.
So I think Mammoth, they're noticing the change in line.
Yes.
And went, ooh, okay, they want it. We want it more.
We're going to throw down to Dan Clinton.
Yeah, here with John Greenfield, possibly the GOAT. John, you're down in this match, mate. How do you come back and win from here?
What are we down? What's the score at the moment?
8-7 at the moment.
8-7. See, I like to keep the score completely out of my head. It's always 0-0 because you can only affect the point that you're actually playing.
Okay, so 1 point at a time.
1 point at a time.
What needs to change for I-Beam?
Oh, not a lot. I think we're doing okay. Obviously, we haven't really got our teeth into the D. And there's a certain moment, and every player feels it when they actually get their teeth into the defence. They know they've got their match, and I'm afraid we're not seeing that at the moment from our guys. So we've got to find some way of slowing their offence down because they're just rushing up the sideline. That was probably the last 4 of their points. They just pretty much went down the sideline. Before that, the first 4 points, they were hucking it and getting deep of us. So yeah, tightening up on D. Coming from an offense player.
Thank you very much for your time, John. I'll let you get back to the half. We'll go back to Simon Talbot.
Thank you, Dan and John. That kind of insight's wasted on a player. He needs to be over here with us.
Absolutely.
Could listen to that man talk all day.
Absolutely.
So it's been a first half played at not quite a frenetic pace, but there's definitely room for energy to come, and we're in for an absolute cracker of the second half. We're going to take a break for a few minutes and hope you'll be back with us soon. Second half action about to get underway from this Open Division pool play game. The Australian Ultimate Championships, day 5 of the championships. And hasn't it been unreal? We had 3 days a couple of weeks ago here at Nelson Bay Division 2, and we're starting to get to the interesting pointy end.
Yep.
Final rounds of pool play to determine who's going to make top 4. We have Mammoth from Queensland in the blue, I-Beam from Newcastle in the white. Both still contending, but both can still miss out.
Yeah, both very much with a desire to win, and points difference may come into play here. So when there are some wins and losses that are on par, they look at points difference. So this close game, probably not what either team would have wanted,
No.
but it's creating an exciting game for us.
That's good because every goal matters.
Absolutely.
Every single goal matters. Davey, Stoddard. Doherty 1-on-1 versus Gaunty at the back, but comes back in. Now he's got Prosser going deep, but it's across to Stoddard. And we can see the cuts head away from the disc down the sidelines and then towards the disc in the middle of the field. Davies put the shot up. He's got Doherty 1v1. He goes big. Very, very hard to catch.
He's not happy with that.
Good look. Like he had steps, he had distance, but just a bit too much on it.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, the right opportunity, and he got a hand to it.
He had to change his angle because the disc started angling away from him. So that always means you've got 2 or 3 more steps to cover.
Yeah, a little bit less momentum than you thought you were going to have.
So we've got 5 cutters across the field with Grimond in the mid, Grimond and Vo in the middle. So
the Mammoth have done this a couple of times now, where they've had the 2 handlers back and 5 in a horizontal stack, but it changes very quickly.
Yep. So Vo's gone deep to try and draw attention away, which he does, and Milo gets it. He's put the shot out looking for Thomas Vo, who is a very fast boy, but
not quite that fast.
Not fast on this occasion. And again, Mammoth are getting it off I-Beam a couple of times, but giving it back virtually immediately.
Yes.
They've got to stop doing that.
Oh, you reckon?
I mean, I feel like I'm stating the obvious, but I mean, come on. Oh no, that's a uncharacteristic drop. So this time they've got another shot. Howarth right in the corner now. Milo can't get open. Grundy gets it to Gaunt, and there we go. That's the big moment. That's the one we've been waiting for. You can hear them get up and about and get loud.
So that then is a break, which means that Mammoth have got like an extra goal in front that I-Beam are going to have to play catch up to. But I wouldn't be discounting I-Beam.
Absolutely not. I've seen I-Beam come back from worse.
Oh yeah,
several
absolutely.
times.
I've been on the receiving end of an I-Beam comeback, so I know.
I think they're a better team when they're losing.
Yeah, sometimes, absolutely. So, but Mammoth, they feed off this type of energy.
Oh yeah,
they definitely. They're a team that they don't mind being a bit loud. They don't mind, getting up and about each other a little bit. So you'll notice then the whole team just ran onto the field just to feed that energy, keep it up.
And ultimate teams at this level, they'll typically have an offensive unit and a defensive unit. Offensive units don't celebrate goals because that's what they're expected to do. That's their job. That's like the minimum.
Yeah.
But a defensive unit, you hear a defensive unit get a goal, there might be one of 7 goals for the entire tournament. So they are going to celebrate each and every one of them.
Absolutely.
So when we talk about breaks, when you hear the big cheer in the celebration, that's a break. That's how you spot it.
Absolutely.
So they've kept their defensive unit out there plus Liam Grimond. So actually, I think that's their offensive unit. They've got a bit of a hybrid here, so they're going to look to try and get a run of a few goals here. Davey. Lavis and Davey. Tim Lavis now. Davies drifted towards the end zone. Doherty's come underneath. They've covered all options here, Mammoth. They've done very well, except Stoddard just finds that space, as he so often does. Davey dishes out to Tim Lavis. He's got his brother going long. Chooses Greenfield coming short, who has a big look at that low side. No one going there. Except Tim Lavis finally goes. Big catch. No one cutting towards Tim Lavis, so he's going to have to go, and Perry's copped a little bit from Davey. Davey straight away apologetic to say, sorry, that's on me.
Yeah, I did try to run through you. I thought you'd move, but you didn't.
Yeah. Davey with a greater mass than Perry, and that time goes the other way. Good by Perry to make a play on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had to go. You got to put pressure on everything, otherwise, you can't just let them have it easily. And you see virtually no celebration at all because the O-line, the offensive line, put
absolutely.
That goal in.
But I-beam good there. Like, most teams, they get it in that corner and everyone rushes to the corner. But I-beam really good there. They just settled themselves. So you'll see here, got it up the line. Instead of everyone rushing to go, oh, we got to go so we can score it in, they all go to the middle of the end zone. They wait there for their opportunity.
Yeah.
Granted, they tried to run through someone to get there.
Yes.
But...
And it comes to that sort of attack and counter-attack. So Mammoth know that they'll try and cram it in that corner, so they stack all their defense on that side.
Absolutely.
But then they sort of cut that first one off, go, right, okay, let's get ready for I-beam to go lateral, move it up the high line. And as soon as they've pulled that attention away from that corner, that's when I-beam attack that corner.
Absolutely.
You leave one, they'll just take the other. They're a very responsive offensive team.
So it looks like we've got a timeout.
Timeout called by Mammoth.
Yeah.
I think they got their break, tried to roll it into a second one, and they just need to give because they put, I think, their offensive line out to try and get a block. You didn't want them playing 2 points in a row.
Yeah, absolutely.
So offensive line to try and earn it. Didn't, so call the timeout, put them back out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So it took I-beam a little bit, as it did me, to recognise the timeout had actually been called.
Not a bad decision to get their offensive out to try and get the block, because then it gives your defense a rest after a big play. Let them sort of build that energy on the sideline, going, oh, I can't wait to get back out there. Let's get ready.
Yeah. Well, and also, at the moment, to a certain extent, Mammoth has got the swing a little bit.
Yep.
And so they don't want I-beam to go on a roll now. So before it happens, they got one. That's okay. We can let them have one, but we're not letting them get any more.
They're not having two.
Yeah.
But I think I-beam happy just to, if they've got a timeout, they're just going to, they're not going to change anything.
No.
They're going to roll with what's been working. We'll see them probably change the defensive look. We're probably about 2 goals away from that. I think once Mammoth gets to 10 or 11, then we'll see a change, because Mammoth will have grown pretty comfortable with what's happening and get up and about, and then throwing a new defensive look late in the game can really upset that balance.
Absolutely.
That's when you generate turns.
Yeah. Get them uncomfortable again.
Yes. Burke pulling, puts it high, floaty. Not going to get a heap of distance, but they're going to put that pressure on nice and early. So it'll be about 45 from goal, at least. So they've run the zone again, trying to push them towards this sideline now. Anderson, Vo. Couple of give go again. They're sort of not really keeping it tight, letting them work up and down that sidelines. But that's what happens when you try and take those middle throws away. And Grimmond.
Gee, that was textbook, wasn't it?
Again, he makes it look effortless.
I know. So I have to say, having played on a team with him and Max Helden, who also has been playing for a very long time, both of them, I didn't used to like playing against a zone until I played on a team with them and just saw the joy that they had in just walking it up the field, just passing it back and forth. Yeah. Nice and calm. You don't have to work. Look at that. He's just walking.
Yeah.
Just whatever. Hit what's open. And, he gets a real joy out of that, I think.
It's, just reading the defense, picking where the gaps, and picking a pass ahead where the gaps are going to be. So you see him here, because, I think it was Josh Bolton there in the cup, because they had a couple of passes going towards, he thought that's going to keep going.
Yeah.
And then Grimmond just cut back towards the centre. And Bose is going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden that gap's wide open and through the middle.
Absolutely.
So.
Good call by Mammoth then. That proves that timeout came at the right time.
Yep.
Absolutely came at the right time.
So they've got their defense line, who's had a good long rest now.
Yeah.
So it's 10-8 the score. Grundy's voice, he will not shut up for the rest of the game. But that's the kind of energy you want from a leader on a defensive unit. It's just constant voice, constant instruction, constant encouragement.
Oh, just gone in.
That's landed in. Reversal of fortune from that first ball of the game. Davey. The wind has seriously picked up now. Not going to affect I-beam too much though. Not on these short throws anyway. It's the long throws that will make the difference on. So they'll try and work it a bit closer to the end zone before they take a shot. Everyone's gone away from Lavis, so he has to go lateral to Davey. Davey's got Stoddard going long. They've got Milo playing on Stoddard. Well, you know, you can't really put anyone on Stoddard and expect him to catch up, but Milo's doing an okay job at tracking him and limiting the damage. Davey's got Doherty long. He's got Grundy chasing him, but Doherty's played that beautifully. Doherty's played that so well, and he's come down with it. So Doherty gives up a bit of height to Grundy, but beats him for pace.
Oh, absolutely.
So when this replay comes up, we'll talk through what he did to win that battle, because he knew that he couldn't beat him in the air. So we see, so Davey's got the shot. You see him take off at the left of screen there. The throw goes up. What he does is he slows down and goes into it early, which baits Grundy into slowing down and having to go early himself. Yep. Wrong-footed, going up with his non-preferred hand.
Knowing that if he didn't go at that exact moment, he wasn't going to get it anyway.
If you let Grundy go from where he wants to go, Grundy's going to get that. And so, yeah, double back, obviously made a bit more work for himself when he stumbled on the way back. But that's, yes. And
thought you said that they don't celebrate.
Well, if you've worked out a plan, like worked and executed a plan in like a matter of a second and a half that's gone that well, yeah, I think he's celebrating his own success.
Oh, definitely.
Couldn't give a stuff about the team. He's done a couple of things now to look good on camera.
Absolutely.
He'll add that for life. So.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
But yeah, again, if you're a young player and you're worried about giving up height in a contest, that's how you play it.
Absolutely.
Make the defender go early. Do not go on their terms. Merck's pulling today, is setting them up well, but that one's going to drift out of bounds, carried by the wind at the last moment. You see it sort of drift and float, and then when it gets to about 5 meters off the ground, just boom, just completely changes course.
Absolutely. So again, they get to take it into that X in the middle of the field. So that's their brick mark.
And that's the first pull that's landed out for IB. I think they prioritise landing it inbounds more so than trying to get it all the way back in the end.
Allows Mammoth to set up a little bit more formally.
Leask, Vo. Got two cutters going deep. One comes back under. That's Mariung. Vo immediately looking just to move it laterally. So he's sort of playing that anchor handler role. Leask looking forward. He's got Joel Cook there, who's covered. Finds Vo, it's the same. Grimmond as well, it's the same. Players controlling the offensive tempo, so it's good downfield defense from IBM here to prevent anything happening. Grimmond really putting some heat on now, the defense. Anderson. Lots of players losing footing out there in this soft ground. Leask wants to cut to this bottom left side. He puts a long darting throw out, and that has been...
Not enough.
Not enough. I couldn't see who got a hand to that one. I think that's Nick Jewell, one of their imports.
So the I-beam sideline has gotten significantly louder because if they can get this, they get this break back.
Jewell to Gator. McKee. Merck just wrong foots his opponent. They've got about 40 to go to goal. They're not really going to take a shot. They're happily just to grind this away, work this up at a nice pace. McKee, unguarded at the moment. Anderson just really having to put some work in. Winchester. He's got a cutter going deep. Doesn't like it. Two cutters going up the line. Now he's just didn't put enough on that throw.
Not far enough in front.
And yeah, when the catcher has to reach behind them, that's trouble. Leask walks to the Alex Leask.
Mammoth.
Yeah. Looks like the first cutter, looks like the second. Going to have to go backwards to Grimmond, or he could go forwards. Grimmond's got a shot. Thomas Vo's up there. He has to go left. There, he's right. Just that first look over the shoulder was the wrong one. It's drifted away to his left. He's left when he was running. He's right when he was turning around. It's
so another gift here for I-beam.
No one coming towards him. Big layout bid from, I think that was Scott Perry there. McKee. Hayes. Merck's gone towards the end zone. Gator and Winchester again. He's beaten to it by Max Marion.
Nice clean D there.
Yeah.
He could have completely taken that player out,
great
but he was
body
so
control.
careful.
Come around with his outside hand. So rather than trying to get his shoulder in between the player, he's come around and just knocked it away. Alex Lees pointing at the end zone. That's where he wants it, but he fires it inboard to Joel Cook. Receives it back.
So
Pick called. It'll stay with Cook. A lot of hands on knees, a lot of hard running so far at this point. Gets a no spin throw out to Leesk. Darts a throw out, going to Perry.
Mammoth lucky to hold on to that point there. I've been given a few opportunities.
Yes.
They were very lucky to get that back to have that score.
Twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think we've had more than, I think we've had a few points with a turnover each way. I think that's our first one with 2 turnovers each way. And that's 11-9.
Yeah, now Grimm having a bit of a chat with his opponent there. Oh, here we go. We'll watch this first. Nice. Just got his hands to it.
Yeah.
To be able to peel off his player like that and get to that D was absolutely phenomenal there by Christian.
And they get another clean block there. Just that throw was just too much to the inside of the field. He needed to, the cut's coming at a bit of an angle. You need to throw basically to that angle rather than direct. And that just, it's instantaneous reaction from Matt Marion that as soon as he saw that throw sort of come out of the hand, that angle, just launched himself immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't wait, didn't hesitate, just sent.
So Liam Grimm just had a bit of a chat to his opposition just there to let him know wasn't happy with the physical contact in that point. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that.
So offensive foul called in the middle there. Number 1, the battle of the 2 number 1s. Doherty on Grundy. I think Doherty just sort of made his first movement into Grundy, which and again, it's up to the players what level of contact they're willing to put up with. Stoddart throws the big fake backhand. Heads backwards to Davey. Davey's got a couple of options. He's got Doherty short. Ponika's going away from him. He's got Stoddart going to the end zone. Milo on his tail, but Stoddart goes nice and early. Just good body position. Just made sure he is between the disc and his defender. Takes it out in front of him rather than trying to get underneath it and go vertical.
Absolutely.
Slows down.
And kudos to the thrower there to be able to put it out right in front just to make it nice and easy for him.
Great throw by Liam Doherty. Yeah, as you can see, they're worried about Doherty going deep, so he was able to just get it under, put that throw out, and
just sat up nicely for him.
Yeah. Kevin Milo, he's got a difficult assignment.
Oh. I'm not jealous
He's been given
at
the
all.
responsibility of Stoddart, and he's what's bad for Milo is he's going to appear on a lot of highlight reels looking like 5 steps off, looks like he's slow, but he's doing a fantastic job.
I've seen Stoddart create a lot more damage.
Yes.
And cause a lot more damage against teams than he's been able to do in this game.
Yeah, he's on his way to neutralise. I don't think he's going to defeat Stoddart.
No.
But he's doing okay to neutralise him in some plays. So credit to him for the job he's doing. It's a lot of work. He would have probably been told before the game, hey, this is going to be your task. So we're not going to see more than 9 goals in this game. 9 more goals. 8 more goals. Maths. Anderson to Leask. Takes the easy option to Perry. Perry looking for just that 45 angle Cook. Getting a central Marion. Alex Lacey wants that low forehand shot that he likes. Anderson. Marion has to attack. Does it well. Puts it up the line. Marion. Another goal. So Mammoth up to 12. So 12-10. So the equation. First to 15 wins.
Correct.
100-minute time slot. We're not going to get to 100 minutes.
No.
Not at this rate. So Mammoth need 3 more goals. IBeam need 5. We heard John Greenfield talk at halftime. Each goal's a new game to 0. So the players won't be thinking too much about that. We're going to, though.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, as we said before as well, that points in this game definitely matter. Yeah. They're going to matter in the standings of the pool at the end of the day. So Mammoth are wanting to pull away here, and IBeam, they're not going to let them.
So I feel obvious saying this, a 2-goal advantage to Mammoth, because that's literally what it is. But IBeam are receiving, so even if they get this in, even though it does make it 11-12, IBeam would need to get 2 defensive breaks to be the one going 1 goal up each time. So it's on them. Mammoth are content to keep this a shootout. I don't see them changing a lot. They might try and sort of go all out for 1 more defensive break now, but they're well in control of this game.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
IBeam to get this one in, I wouldn't be surprised to see him call a timeout after this goal and put an all-star line on.
Yes.
Or just put the all-star line on.
I mean, they've got another timeout sitting there to go.
Might put Davey on for every point, put Stoddart across the defence. Just change 1 or 2 things. Stoddart's put it out for Doherty. Grundy goes early. Again, you just got to go early to put pressure on those ones, but Doherty's hands have been very safe today. Tim Lavis. Stoddart. Doherty just doing all sorts of damage. Davey, he's got 1 look at that high side. Who wants it? No one does. He's got his eyes on Prosser. Prosser doesn't move. Tim Lavis. Cuts they're all sort of just deliberate cuts. They're sort of waiting for a moment. They're not just running mindlessly in the end zone. They're going eye contact, make a move when they've got time, and then Prosser gets to Doherty for I think his 5th goal.
Yeah, he's doing very well, and I mean Mammoth did change up to avoid him from getting it deep.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to go back to that.
Maybe. So 12-11, we can see they're calling, I think, just their main defensive line on still. I haven't seen anyone who's going to come across. Maybe they're going to give 1 more go before they. But I fully expect to see Stoddard play D at some point.
Yes, you would think so.
Yeah. Well, Davey's out there with this, so. Oh, he's out there now. There we go.
Just hiding.
Yep. See the two of the younger players, Liam Doherty and Luke Prosser, celebrating. I mean, we said before the offense doesn't celebrate, but maybe the older players have scored hundreds of goals in their lifetime. The old Vince Lombardi quote goes, "When you get to the end zone, act like you've been there before."
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I love seeing that energy about celebrating the goals you get.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah. So Dave with the ball, it's out the big come on as he lets go of it. That's going to drift. That's going to float. That's going to give him lots of time to get down there. First pass goes into Leask. Oh, that was a risky play there. Left Murray Young open. Anderson flicks it up to Cook. Back to Anderson. Charging down the field with this offense. Murray Young, Cook. They've got to move it to this high sideline. Leask pumps it up. Looking for Anderson.
Oh, easy goal there.
Mr. Anderson with another goal.
That was beautiful offense there by Mammoth. Great flow. It did not stop moving.
No
and they just, their timing of their cuts, there was someone always open.
Yeah. It was that, I don't know if we could probably go back that far on the replay, but early on we saw Christian Gator have a massive bid at like that second pass. And that's him realising that there has to be a big play.
Yep.
We can't just wait for them to get
And it has to
us.
be now.
Yep, it has to be now. So he went for it. And would have looked incredible. Would have changed the game if he got it.
Yeah.
But because he didn't get it, all of a sudden there's two players free and they were able to advance 40 metres.
Yeah,
pretty
get
much
that run
uncontested.
happening.
So, fantastic movement. There was opportunities to do it. IBeam have to make those big kind of plays on defence because, again, they can't let this game run out.
No.
They have to go and win it.
Yes.
Mammoth are not going to lose this game.
No. It's been too clean a game for that, Simon.
So 13-11. Mammoth need 2. I-Beam need 4. It'll tick up to 74 minutes gone. Folks, Davey. Expect to see Davey on pretty much every point from now on. Stoddard. Prosser and Doherty getting tied up, both going the same direction at once. Greenfield finds Folks in the middle. Ooh. Davey's pulled up. He's
cramp, maybe?
Cramp or a calf. He's called the injury. He's hobbling off, and they've put Nick Jewell on.
And it looks like Vo's coming on for Mammoth, because if one team has an injury and subs one player, Mammoth has the right, if they want to sub a player as well.
So Marcus Least heading to the sideline in place of Vo. Tim Lavis. Stoddard heading to the end zone. And again, just he's pace over the first 5 steps gives him such a huge advantage over everyone else. That you sort of look up and you think, who's covering him?
Yeah.
It's like someone was. He's just too quick. It's
a skill I wish I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some players like that that just got such fantastic initial acceleration.
Oh, you see at the top left, I'll never get another look at it. He was going under. Samuel Gaunt made the cardinal sin of looking away from Stoddard. He took one glance at the disc and immediately Stoddard turned and just torched him. And Sam, poor Gaunt, he's looked down, he's looked up.
Yep.
Okay, there's my player.
Got him.
Look back, there's the disc. Look back, he's played 20 minutes away.
Yeah. That's rough.
He's gone through a portal and come in the end zone. So, obviously, we're not going to see Davey playing defense if he's gone off. So, Tim Lavis is jumping out there now. Stoddard's still on the field.
Smart.
I wonder if they're going to try and target any particular players. Like, I'd probably put Lavis on Anderson.
Yep.
Stoddard probably on Gaunt, and then Tim Hayes, I reckon I'd get him around the disc, if not playing zone, guarding Alex Leask. Yeah, looks like they're going with the match. We've got Merck with the inside. I like this matchup. Merck on Leask. Grimmett. And it's gone through the hands of Max Mariung, who's had safe hands all day. It's bounced off his chest. Merck wants to get it into play relatively quickly. 35 from goal. He's put the shot up to the advantage of Stoddard. Oh. There it is. Oh. There's the one we wanted.
We said never discount Ivy.
Yep.
And gosh, this has changed the game a little bit, hasn't it?
We knew Stoddard was going to get involved at some point. He's got on there. That throw from Merck. Well, he's thrown that with about a 1 metre window. Like he's not even a corridor. He's thrown that between 2 cars. I want to see it again.
Yeah.
Where is it? Let's get a throw up again. Come on.
Here we go.
So we see it was the
unfortunately.
Here. It was
great card.
Yeah, I think they've just grown a bit too comfortable with having, I guess, uncontested catches against that zone. That as soon as someone's on the
here we go.
Steps, here, this throw from Merck to a 2-on-1, irrelevant.
Just beautiful throw.
Put 2 more defenders on him. Doesn't matter.
Where do you want me to throw it? Oh, that's so good.
But I mean, when you're throwing to a receiver like Chris Stoddard, you've got a margin for error of about 1 kilometre.
Yeah,
like,
that's
he's going to be able to run that down, but 13 all. Best of 3. Best of 3 goals.
Mammoth need this.
We're going to see no more than 3 goals in this game because it is game to 15. Grimmett feels the pull for Mammoth. Leask. Anderson with Stoddard on him. Anderson pumps it long, looking for Perry. Perry's run that down. He's got not much support with him except Vo charging in. Heads it across the field, looking for Joel Cook. Joel Cook's taking 2 goes in it.
Oh my goodness. But good on Vo to run through that there, because he's a dangerous player and he knows if I cut to that open side, I can bring a couple of people with me.
Yeah. And I love this from Mammoth. We're not going to sit back. We're not going to dish it around. There's 2 goals to get. We're going to go even more aggressively. I think that's the most aggressive, fast-flowing O point we've seen for them since probably just after half.
Absolutely.
And it's given them the chance to go to win the game now. So ball's in their court, really, because obviously they're on defence now, so they get 1 crack at it. But even if they concede this goal, they'll be receiving the ball to win the game.
Absolutely. So, are they calling a line?
Not really. I think they've just got their regular defensive unit out there. So, running along the charge, they're going to play match defense. So, the danger players for I-beam there. Again, we're sort of seeing a bit of they've given a couple of players a rest, so
yeah,
Tim Lavis is off this point, so he'll definitely be on the next one.
Absolutely.
Robbie Picalis there, he's probably going to be a target on this one. So we see Jeff Grundy, I think 12, 13 nationals for Grundy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
he's played a couple of Div 2.
Yep. Played a couple of World Club Championships, represented Australia before at the Asia Oceanic Championships. Greenfield fields it to Tim Lavis. Stoddard. Doherty's gone, but not all the way. Back to Greenfield. Folks generating options in the middle. Folks gets it, and that's a huge, Milo has gone for the big layout grab to catch it, but I think Folks has called a strip.
So we'll watch it here.
Yep.
So hard, impossible to see. So the rule is such that if both grab at the same time, offense gets to keep it. That looks like what has happened.
Yep. So Folks is restarting play. Lavis. Greenfield. That's a good long look upfield. Didn't quite have an early stall count on, so has a few seconds, throws it through a tight gap there to Tim Lavis. Prosser. Nice little 1-2 for a gainer. Prosser's unguarded at the moment on this near side, just in case they need. They found Stoddard. Stoddard's got Grimm in his matchup. Puts the big hammer shot up, looking for Picalis. And there we go. No! I think Gaunt got in there and got enough on it to knock it out of the reach of Picalis. Critical moment in this game. That could have been the one to take us to Universe, but now Mammoth have a go. But we've seen Mammoth get it. We've seen I-beam get it back off Mammoth. Called. That's Kevin Milo hitting the bench there. The groin injury. He's got a bit of a cowboy walk happening, so he's obviously in a bit of discomfort.
And then I think I-beam are discussing whether or not someone's going to sub, and it looks like.
Yep, they're bringing on Nick Jewell for John Greenfield.
Smart move. He's been great defensively.
Yeah. And that would have been, Greenfield initiated that. He said, look,
absolutely,
we've got to get a better defender than me on here.
Yep.
So great. Doing the team thing, not going for the glory. Grimmett has gone long, but well covered. Under he comes, and it's overthrown straight into the lap of Luke Prosser. We've seen I-beam take it back off Mammoth so many times this game. Jewell. Short one to Lavis. Going to be a lot more steadier with their options after that one turnover now. Folks, heads up the line to Jewell, who's jumped it in, turns around. Great body control.
We have a game. I mean, we always had a game.
We've had a game.
But it's now.
Well, this is it. This is
golden goal.
Sudden death.
Sudden death.
Next score wins.
And potentially dictates what happens for that team for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
This is a big point here.
So the end of lunchtime bell is gone. The teachers tell us to come inside, so we've made the call. Next goal wins.
So it looks like a timeout's been called. Smart move.
I don't know who called it, but I reckon both teams. Both teams probably called it at once, saying, "Hey boys, what do you reckon?"
Yeah. So smart move here. This point means a fair bit.
So the Mammoth line are just walking to go and play offense. They're not even join the huddle.
They know their job. They know what they need to do.
what do you need to talk about?
Yeah.
Just play offense and score the goal.
And I think defense have just had a bit of a chat about how they can support the boys.
Yeah.
Get them through this next point.
Yeah. So Mammoth, I think
Mammoth know that they've got the tools.
Yeah, they don't really need to adjust much. I think the only thing we'll probably see them is tighten up around the throwers. I think it's probably the only adjustment they make. Downfield, they're doing everything right. But I think tighten up on the throwers. Don't allow them to throw to either side of the field. Daniel Clinton was over there. He had a quick listen into the huddle. Did you pick up what they said?
So I managed to go and see both huddles there. The O-line for Mammoth was dispatched. They didn't talk at all. Jeff Grundy, though, speaking with his team, just saying whatever happens, we love this, get around the boys. For I-Beam, Ash O'Sullivan just talking about regrets, and you don't want to be the one who didn't lay out for it or didn't do what you needed to do.
Good on him.
Good message. Good message.
Like that. And it's true. You know, this potentially, as we said, could be the game, the point that dictates where you finish at the end of this whole tournament. So a lot riding on this point.
So months of training.
We've got a bit of a sideline happening here.
Builds into this point. Ultimate's a simple game. It's throwing, it's catching. Let's see which team does it better. Gribben fields the ball deep in their own end zone, least. He's got Anderson charging towards him, marked by Stoddard. Not many options forthcoming, heads to Gribben. Gribben wanting the deep shot, no one going away from him. Perry comes underneath, he's got Vo, one out. Heads least. Vo's still free on that high side. Hayes doing a great job discouraging that throws, and the throw's going up. Joel Cook's going to have to go.
Oh, too far. Too far.
I like those throws from least. Low and direct. Do not give the defense a chance to get to it. But
however, I think he did it a bit too early.
Yeah, hold on to it for another second because Cook was gone. Cook had the advantage.
All right, we need big things here from Mammoth to turn this game back into their favour.
Tim Lavis, 64 to travel to goal. Stoddard one out in the middle there with Anderson. Gets the easy first pass. Winds up, it's going to go low. Jewel having to work for it. Tim Lavis coming across. Cook goes for it. Got free shot at Lavis. Lavis, Winchester. Plenty of options. Goes back to Merck. Stoddard has gone deep. Draws two with him. So someone's free underneath. Goes to Lavis. Lavis has Cook on his tail. Lavis sees Nick Jewell. Runs it in.
There was a pick.
There's a pick called in the stack.
So some excited people on the sideline celebrating early.
A bit of a crowd's developed over here. Most other games around some finish. We've got Sunder, we've got Crankle looking on this sideline. Plenty of interest here.
A pick was called, which meant that someone got in the way of the defender, so they were unable to do their job, which is to follow their player. So play goes back to the person with the disc.
Back to Lavis, he'll have still probably got 6 or 7s for a good look. He'll have a look upfield for a couple. Then back to Merck, but he goes even upfield longer. Winchester. Got a couple of upline looks. Good backwards throw to Lavis. Lavis forward to Stoddard. Oh, and Anderson had a good hand on that. Stoddard picks up, goes. Huge D.
Oh. That was, I mean, look, Vo has got hops.
Yep, trying to throw it over him. Not going to work. Anderson completely free. No one's cutting for him, though. He hasn't got a count. Goes back to Least. Least with Hayes on the mark. Laterally over to Grimmond. Vo's come towards him. Least centre field now. Grimmond. He's got Vo going deep. The throw's gone up. 3 defenders on him. Can he beat them all? He goes early. Had to go early. Had no other option.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be fairly confident if I had Vo going deep.
Oh, look, it's a great decision.
However, 3 defenders is a lot of defenders.
And I think the IBM are ready for that one.
Absolutely.
There was plenty of noise from the sideline. So
I think Mammoth maybe pulled the trigger a little bit too early on that one.
Yeah, again, hold on for another half a second, then take the shot. Stoddard got Hayes deep, but he's got to look under. Lots of lateral cuts happening, not much towards him. And
you have a pick again?
I think it was a bump on the mark.
Oh, right.
So Grimmett marking Stoddard there. Tim Lavis has gone deep. Watch this go up. Lavis, Grundy chasing. Lavis has got it. He's too far out. He's got it. Oh, no. The momentum of that just died. I can't believe that.
That looks like he had it.
Everyone on the sideline, hearts in their mouths.
I think Ash O'Sullivan's maybe celebrated about 4 times this win already, only to be last second.
Heads on hands everywhere. No one can
including
believe
myself.
that dropped.
Now, I feel like both teams are trying to force this game to be over a bit sooner than they need to.
Yeah, maybe.
I just feel like there's been a bit of a change in how both teams have been playing this game up until this point. Where they're just trying to win the game.
Yes.
It'll be the team that goes back to their actual strategy, plays their game, that's going to get this in the end.
Just play offense. Murray Young, at least playing very close to his throwers. Has a look upfield, Grimmond. He's got Grundy and short. He's got a couple going away from him. Lease goes up the line. He heads laterally to Anderson instead. Stoddard clogging up that open space. So Grimmond heads laterally to Vo. Another pick called in the stack. This time Hayes calling on Leask at the front. Vo to start with the disc. 40 from goal. Leask. Lots of players heading away from him. Dishes to Vo. This is good defensive. They've really stepped up that pressure around the disc, I-beam. Not letting easy throws come out. Perry. Got his eyes on Grimmond, and another pick called.
So some frustrations coming out from the teams here of these picks being called.
Few just more direct line cutting. There's not as much sort of discipline in and out. They're just looking to go straight to the disc, straight away from it. He's got lemon long, but can't even get the words out. Grimmond long, but again, he's put it too low, too fast. Straight into Stoddard's lap. Lavis. He's got players heading away from him. Gator comes under. He puts that high for Stoddard. Has to have another go at it. And Gator's headed to the end zone. He's got Lavis. He's got Merck. He takes Lavis. IBM still really providing those deep cuts, really stretching the Mammoth defense, forcing them to work for everything. Merck. Back to Tim Lavis. Gets it across to Gator. Lavis getting every second pass here, just marching him up the field. Winchester is gone.
Oh,
huge grab.
There
and there we go. Finally, Chris Stoddard with the winning goal.
It was the team that calmed themselves down that managed to get there in the end. But what a last point.
It was Tim Lavis who just took control of that and said, right, if we're just going to have to do this a hard way, let me do the work. So he just got every second pass and just was hitting up cutters at the front of the stack because Mammoth was sitting deep at their players, expecting the deep shot to come up from Stoddard or from Merck or from Lavis. Lavis saw that, took advantage, burst it down the field, and in the end just had a clean shot. I think he had Winchester at the front, but then Stoddard over at the back, as we see a couple of highs from that point. Joel Cook, he did everything he could to get to that one. We see Jewel having to get low for that one. That was an incredible point. Played in the right spirit. Like it's both teams played hard but played fair. We're going to go down to Daniel Clinton, who's with one of the young stars of IBeam, Liam Doherty.
Yeah, one of the young guns here, Liam Doherty. Mate, what an emotional victory that one is.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Like 4 turns on Universe. It doesn't get any more heart racing than that.
Now, mate, you're on the O-line these days. There's a lot of faith shown by the older members of IBeam. What's it like playing with such experienced heads?
It's great, you know, like they've all played for a long time. I know all the jokes about IBeam are the old guys team, but you know, when you get to play with the throwers that can throw anything, all you got to do is run, and it's great.
Keeping it simple. Thank you, Liam. Congratulations on your victory.
Yes, thank you.
We'll go back to your commentators.
Thanks, Daniel. What that means for the standings, we're not 100% sure, but
no idea.
Obviously a bunch of other results who will come in from that round as well.
And full credit to IBeam there. Like Mammoth kind of had momentum their way after half. They got the early break, really kind of set the tone for the second half. And IBeam, as we said multiple times, you can never discount them. And they just proved then, what was it, 13-10 at one point. And then IBeam came back to win that. So that's, to be able to do that day 2, end of the day, of day 2 nationals, day 5, sorry, just shows some great mental strength.
And Mammoth 3 years away from Div 1 nationals, but haven't missed a beat. They're still up there. They're still contenders. They're still one of the better teams here. So
hopefully we see both go through to the top pool and continue on fighting it out to win. But who knows? We'll see.
Okay, so our next game is at 3 p.m. in Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is just under half an hour away. So that'll be Crank versus Juggernaut, the second of our Open Division doubleheader. That is going to be a belter of a game because, as far as we know, that is pretty much game to make brackets. But we'll bring you news of that closer to the start of the game, and we'll be back soon with that one. Thanks for joining us.
You're all looking at me! You're judging me! What's important?
Moshe Beats.